happy Friday. How is everybody living? I hope that you're living it up. Cause your boy Quinn is living it up. Big Quinn from the 5-5 Nina is living it up. But earlier I was kind of a little, how would you say, I don't know, a little tripped out because I'm going through some stuff with my brothers. But I'm just living my best life, yo. Just living my best life. Just working hard, trying to make a living, be a good dad. So I think what it ultimately boils down to is what your priorities are and what do you call important, because I believe it will most definitely show, because the things that you desire you're always going to gravitate towards. So if it's knowledge, people will see that when they're around you. If it's morals, people will know that. And I'm just gonna stand on the good things. I'm not even gonna talk about all the other whatever stuff. But if you're an honest person, you are always gonna be trustworthy. No matter how much anybody tries to badmouth you or switch your story or whatever, because there's a scripture in the Bible that says you know them by their fruits. So no matter anybody would be plotting on you or trying to hurt you or steal from you or put fear in you, there will, I believe this because I believe God is still here in the world, so his children are too, right? Oh yeah. And so if you ever feel like a point in your life where you're mistreated or somebody's doing bad to you, I would say to have faith in God, because he still has his hand here on the world. Because somebody a while back, a family member, they made a joke and they said, oh, well, this is hell already. And I was walking with God pretty heavy. And I was like, no, this ain't hell yet. And she was like, yeah, it is. Did you see all the blah, blah, blah? And there's one thing that came in my mind. Because if you're a Christian and you're in the Word, you have to come correct and you have to know what you're saying, because the enemy is ravenous, and so are his wolves. So yeah, the first thing that immediately popped in my head is, well, you still have grace. You still have grace, and basically what I'm talking about is the air in your lungs. The air in your lungs. There's things that happen in this world where we know it's God's hand. Like let's say you were supposed to get in an accident or something, and that probably might sound weird, supposed to, but what I'm trying to explain is, you're driving, you're drunk, whatever, and you swerve into something, and you just close your eyes, and you open it, and your car's off, and you're like, what the heck, how did that just happen? I know some of you out there can relate. If anybody can hear my voice, that's God's grace. That's most definitely God's grace. And you could say whatever you want about whatever you call your higher power, but that right there, and I'm sure everybody could resonate to that, that is God's grace. That is most definitely God's grace. And we still have God's grace because we wake up and, well, let me just give you a breakdown. I mean, we're just going to stand on scripture. What does the book of Revelation say about hell? It says the weeping, the moaning, the gnashing of the teeth. And if you don't know what weeping, which is basically crying, moaning, like, you're in pain, moaning, and gnashing of the teeth, that's how miserable you're gonna, I mean, I don't want to say anybody, but a person that would go to hell, like, let's just say, for lack of better terms, the demons who want to go there, they're gonna be gnashing their teeth so hard because it's, so painful, so not this place, not here, not now, where you would believe that it may be hell. And I would understand that, because I wrestle with that too. Is this is Satan's stronghold. This world is Satan's stronghold. That's why you see a lot of bad things happen, like, little kids getting hurt, drugs, murder and stuff like that. That's Satan hard at work, most definitely. So I could see how you would think that, but I just want to remind you that God's children are still out there. They're still spreading the word. still feeding the hungry. Um, it may not be as much as we expect because there's things that we want and need in this world, and it just sometimes it just doesn't happen. It doesn't reach us. But yeah. So I would advise you, if you're going through things in your life and you want to know answers, to make friends with some Christians, because the reason why people are mostly skeptical about church is they kind of go in it, with expectations and not really any too much knowledge about what the church is. So one good thing that's helpful is to like have a friend that already goes to church and invites you, because it's much better. I've had my experiences when I just walk into churches, and I've had my experience where there's people that I know personally, they go to a church and I go, and it's phenomenal. It's phenomenal. A word that's not often used, but I believe that's the best way I could describe it. And yeah, um, so if you feel like people are doing bad against you at work, or basically whatever, just understand that there's an overseer watching, and he still has his children here. I mean, he might talk to his children to assist you in battle and in warfare, because I would most definitely love to share this at my work. There's somebody who I believe is most definitely a child of God, because man, this dude is always there to help out, and just he's very knowledgeable about scripture, and just it kind of restores your salvation in a sense, because that joy comes back, and and fellowship. And that's why in the Bible it says, when 2 or 3 are gathered, that he's there in the midst. So no child of God is ever supposed to be an island. I'm not saying that to offend anybody. I'm not saying that to condemn anybody. I'm actually saying the opposite. Like, that we gotta connect with each other. Like, we're his hands and feet. We're the kingdom. So I hope those words that I said were inspiring, and that you have yourself a good Friday. Much love, and let's keep it Jesus. Peace.